Hey, gymnastics moms, is your gymnast constantly worried about what everybody else is going to think about her? If so, this is the video for you. We're going to help you help your gymnast stop worrying so much about what everybody else thinks. You're a Mindset for Moms, where we help moms develop happy, healthy gymnasts who know how to win. This month, in the month of February, we are focused on how to actually enjoy the journey. And one of the biggest things that steals your gymnast joy is her constant worry about what everyone else thinks. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to get a little geeky, a little sciencey on you for just a minute. It's completely normal. It is actually how the brain is wired. Um, because I want you to think back to either, early times in human history, or even when somebody's a baby. Early times in human history, like we're cavemen, cave women. If you got kicked out of the tribe, that was a life or death situation. You probably weren't going to make it on your own, right? As a baby, if the people around you don't like you and aren't willing to care for you, you're not going to make it on your own. So we are literally wired to make sure that the people around us want to help take care of us so that we don't die. And it's hard to let loose of that wiring when it's no longer necessary. We are not in situations that if, your gymnast is not in a situation that if she doesn't do well, that her coach is going to kick her out and she's going to die, or you're going to kick her out as her parent and she's going to die. That's not happening. But her brain doesn't know that. Her brain sees that if important leaders in her life, like her parents or her coaches, are unhappy with her performance, that she is actually in a life or death, physical, dire situation. And her brain, not her logical brain, but her primary brain, it's in charge of her survival, thinks that if her teammates are unhappy with her, and then here's an interesting one. It could be that her teammates are unhappy with her because she didn't do well enough. But it could also be that her teammates are unhappy with her because she did too well and they're jealous of her. And so she's like walking this really tightrope line, trying to do well enough to be liked and not do so well that she's not liked. And so, yeah, of course, she's focused on what everybody else thinks about her. Like that makes complete, perfect sense. But it's not true that it's the dire situation that her brain tells her it is. So, one of the first things we work with our gymnasts is just helping them understand that, helping them understand that your brain thinks this is a really big deal, but it's actually not. You're going to be completely fine if the people around you don't like you or think negatively about you. But one of the other things that we like to tell them is, your feelings are created by your thoughts. We've spent a lot of time on that. You can look back at our other videos to go through that in depth, but your feelings are created by what you're thinking. And so to try to control how somebody else feels, like that they're happy with you, that they're proud of you, means that you have to control their thoughts. And we know it's impossible to control the thoughts of another human being. They can't control the thoughts of anyone else around them. And so gymnasts tell us all the time, oh, but I just don't want to disappoint my coach. And one of the things that we tell them is you can't control that. You aren't in control of your coach's feeling of disappointment or your parents' feeling of disappointment. They're all very focused on not disappointing their parents. You can't control that. It doesn't matter what you do. You aren't in control of whether or not they feel disappointed. They're going to feel disappointed based on what they're thinking, not on what you do. You cannot make them feel disappointed and you cannot make them feel proud. I wish we could. If I could teach y'all how to do that, we would do that, but we can't control other humans. The last thing that I love to teach gymnasts on this topic, and so you can pick one of these. Don't try to teach them all, but pick one of these. is that I ask them, if you saw somebody else's journal, would you go and pick it up and read it? And either they say no, or they say, well, I would, but I would say, would you feel guilty about that? And they would say, yeah. And I always ask why. And they say, because that's private, that's their business. I'm like, yeah, other people's thoughts, journal is just their thoughts, are none of your business. They're not about you. If somebody is jealous of you, it's because they're worried about how they are thinking or how they're going to do. And if somebody doesn't think you're good, it's because they are like glad that they're going to be better than you, because we're trying to like put ourselves in that hierarchy to make sure we're not going to get kicked out of the tribe, right? Um Other people's thoughts about you have nothing to do with you. And so we love to teach them, hey, their thoughts about you are none of your business. It's only your thoughts about you that matter on how you feel. The only one you have to worry about feeling disappointed is yourself. And it's okay to feel disappointed sometimes. We're going to be disappointed. Disappointment is a normal part of life. That's the other thing I'll tell them. They're really worried about disappointing their coach or their parent. I'll say, do you really think that your coach isn't capable of feeling disappointed and you have to protect them from that? Like, do you think they signed up to be a gymnastics coach and thought that they were never, ever going to feel disappointed? Think they're not capable of dealing with their own feeling of disappointment? And you think you're in charge of it? You're like, oh, yeah. So, those are some of the different strategies that we use to help our gymnasts deal with their very intense, people pleasing, normal human brain. Although it does seem to be a little more intense in gymnasts than a lot of the average person. Um, and so I hope one of those strategies helps you. And normally, we as adults struggle with that too. And so for you, even being able to go, like, a lot of times you're feeling as a parent, like you're worried that how other parents are perceiving you based on how your kid is acting. Well, what are other parents going to think about you? What is her coaches going to think about you? And again, it's their business. It's none of your business. And usually when they're thinking something, it's because of their own feeling about themselves. You can't control their feelings either. You can't control what other parents think. You cannot control what your coaches think. Like, you can't control it. They're like, and when you're trying to, the only way to do it is to be manipulative. And that's probably not how you want to show up. And so being able to just let go of that. I can't control what our coach is going to think about us. I can't control what those other parents are going to think. I can't control what the teammates are going to think. I can't even control what my kid is going to think about me. I can't control what anybody else is going to think. And so being able to let that go. Other people's thoughts about me, none of my business. It's only my thoughts about me that matter. It's me showing up as the human I want to be that matters. And that's what I want to work on. Everyone else they get to control their feelings. They get to worry about their own thoughts, and I get to worry about mine. So, hope some of that is helpful. And next week is our final week in enjoying the journey. But if your kid can learn how to let go of her worry about what everyone else is thinking about her, one, her gymnastics will skyrocket, because this is the main thing that gets in the way. We talked about falling last week. We talked about results the week before. The only reason they care about results and falling is because they care about what they think other people are going to think about them if they fall or don't get good results. Dealing with this issue is one of the biggest game changers, not only in their gymnastics, but in their life. So get them in our program. We can help. We can help you help them really learn how to let go of this. It will change the rest of the course of their life. Can you imagine if you could have gone through your entire life since a teenager? Oh my gosh, it would have been amazing. Not worrying about what everybody thinks. So next week, we are going to talk about the final step in enjoying the journey. So we will see you there.